Well, joining us now on set is Derek Thomson of The Observers. The team has been looking at amateur images coming out of Ukraine. What have you been seeing this morning, Derek?
Well, this morning we've been focusing on the Kiev, on the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, and especially on a district called the Obolonsky district. We heard a report this morning from the AFP, from an AFP correspondent. He said he heard shooting in that district, and I think we have a video that shows that. It was filmed by an amateur this morning. At The Observers, we follow amateur videos online. We try to see what it can tell us. And if we can take a listen to this video, we don't see very much. We see a tracked vehicle there in the distance, but there's actually the sound of gunfire. I don't think we can hear it now, but there's the sound of small arms fire. It's quite sustained, it's quite intense fighting. And then we see also this tracked vehicle. Now, we can't tell whether that's a Ukrainian vehicle or a Russian vehicle, but we do know that it was happening in a very specific space inside the city, the Kiev city limits. If we can take a look at a map, I'll show you exactly where that was. Because now there's a map of Ukraine. There we go. So we've got the airport and Hostomel, which is a town to the north. And then you see Kiev down there. And yesterday we were tracking, there was a major helicopter assault at the Antonov International Airport, which is about 27 kilometers northwest of the center of Kiev. The pictures we were just seeing are in the Obolonsky district. You see it there in the center of the map. And then you see down there Independence Square. That's the very heart of Kiev. So we know that there's fighting. That's only 8 kilometers from the center of Kiev, Independence Square, to Obolonsky district. There's fighting there this morning. That's major cause for alarm. Now, we showed the airport there yesterday because there was a major helicopter assault, as I said, on that airport. This is a cargo airport. It's not a military airport, but it's a military target because they have a lot of big planes there. And what happened yesterday around the middle of the day, and we have some video of this, we saw some amateur video that showed some helicopters flying over the Dnieper River. This is north of Kiev. We'll see them in a second. And this was a flight of we counted about 10 different Russian helicopters, but there were maybe more. We see them flying over the river, and there was actually Ukrainian anti-aircraft missiles that targeted them, that went up to the helicopters, and then the helicopters responded by releasing these flares that light up, and they serve to distract from the heat-seeking surface-to-air missiles. That will come just a second in the video. And this was filmed by an amateur person, as we say, over the Dnieper River, just north of Ukraine. So this was yesterday. You see these helicopters flying. They're flying towards that Antonov airport, all right? Those are the flares that they're releasing to try to confuse the heat-seeking missiles. And these helicopters ended up arriving at the airport a few minutes later. We have another video of that. And another amateur person filmed a shot from the ground. And if we can hear the sound, we can hear the sound of the helicopters. And the man was talking. He was saying in Ukrainian, there may be 20 of them. I don't know, maybe there are 30 of them. I can't see any Ukrainian flags. They must be Russian, he said. So then what happened is that the helicopters, they apparently landed, and we know that because we have a tweet from our colleagues at CNN. And what happened is soon after these helicopters were flying over the airport, something was burning at the airport, and then our colleagues at CNN actually saw Russian troops on the ground. These were Russian airborne troops on the ground, 27 kilometers from the center of the capital of Kiev. Now, he said that there was a fighting going on with the Ukrainians. The Ukrainians said that they shot down 3 of the helicopters, and they actually repelled the attack on the ground. We don't know if that happened or not.
And Derek, how do we know if these are Russians or Ukrainians?
Well, that's a key thing. The Russians and the Ukrainians share a lot of equipment. We've been taking a look at a couple of other videos which are from down south in a different part of Ukraine, which also show Russian troops inside the territory of Ukraine. And if we can take a look at the map that shows a place called Kakhovka, this is about 60 kilometers north of Crimea. Crimea has been held since the Russians for years, as we know. We saw 2 videos in this place, Kakhovka, which is about 60 kilometers inside Ukrainian territory. And we have a video there that shows Russian soldiers who are actually on the ground. It was filmed, once again, by a Ukrainian person. And he said that he actually went up to the soldiers who we see in this video. He said, "Who are you guys?" They said, "We're Russian." He said, "Can I film you?" And they said, "Sure, go ahead." So they're there openly. They're setting things up inside Ukrainian territory. And there was another image as well where we see a convoy. This was a convoy that was supplying these same soldiers. We see some armored vehicles, and we see some trucks as well. That's another video which I hope we have to show you. Here we go. And look at these as they go by. You see a Z written on the side of the vehicle. And you see a Z there. And what they're doing, it appears to be that the Russians who are entering Ukraine are putting Z on the sides of their vehicles to distinguish them from Ukrainian forces. And another interesting thing is that the Russian soldiers who we're beginning to see inside Ukraine, they have white armbands on both arms, on here and on here. It seems to be a distinctive sign of Russian soldiers inside Ukraine.
I would have thought that they would want to not distinguish themselves to sow confusion, but
I
I guess.
think they want to avoid friendly fire, but they don't have other distinguishing marks. I should say they're not saying what regiment they are, etc. These are the only signs.
Okay, Derek Thompson, we'll keep it there. Thank you very much for that.